Well, welcome back after that midnight walk around. This is it in daylight. There's a bit more stuff done since that video anyway. I just sort of took everything off again and made sure all these clips weren't rusty anymore. Painted them. Again, I'm not sure why the hell there's so many clips on this thing. 2 screws here would have been good enough. All these are been painted and they're more rust on them. All the cover plates are for the inlets and stuff, like the water and the 240, painted that. I've just got to clip this bit of ceiling back into the window frame here. Pretty much down to just the flooring and the roller blinds inside, which shouldn't be too bad. I've done a few roller blinds in my time. One thing I noticed last night was I was working way outside on some of the screws and filling some holes, and the low voltage alarm on the kick-ass guy right here went off while I was outside. So I came inside and checked the voltages, and the battery was down to 10 volts. It was super flat. Like, you flicked on just one light in here and the voltage would drop down to 6 volts on it. So it wasn't very happy. It was 8 o'clock last night and it wasn't getting much voltage from the panel at all. I just noticed that when I plugged in this guy, so just turning like this on, so the only thing running off the battery right now is this. There was a bit of a voltage drop, and when I plugged in the outlet from this, so all the fuses lit up and everything could be run, there was even more of a voltage drop. I think this actual fuse box might be drawing or leaking something, like maybe a bit of a voltage leak or a short out on it. So that's not great. Not sure why it wasn't charging, because the panel on the roof and this battery through the C-Tech should charge up in like 5 hours on a really sunny day. Like, it's warm right now, it's putting out probably its maximum. It's like full sunshine outside, so it's doing 14.6 volts at the moment into the battery. I've run a voltmeter over it all and I couldn't really figure it out where it was losing it. What I might do is just off this wire before the kick-offs, put an isolator switch in, kind of like we did for the inverter here. So I put one of those in so that when we leave the caravan I can just flick it off, and only thing connected is going to be the charger to this, or the tow car to this, so that the battery doesn't just drain itself out. And then when I've got some more time, I'll have to run through all this wiring and find out where the drain is, because even if you disconnect these 2 posts, so it's just the cable, there's a voltage drain. So I don't know why that is, but it needs some more time in there. So at the moment it's going great. The battery seems to be pretty charged up after about 2 hours from full sunshine. I can flick some stuff on in here which just draws a bit. The big thing that draws the most in here is the diesel heater glow plug. That pulls a few amps. I think it's 6 or something, or 10 amps when it's just starting, and that drops down. And if I do that now, there's no problem. It doesn't drop down below 12 volts. But last night it was dropping down to like 4 or 5 volts, and you're damaging the battery. So turned everything off, let it charge up today a bit, and if it doesn't charge up today I can always whack a battery charger on it. But I don't want to run this thing with a battery charger. The whole idea was the solar panel keeps it, like, it should be more than enough. So I think I'm going to isolate this. I isolate everything off one switch, so if you're leaving it like for a couple of months, you can just walk out, flick it off, so the battery's just charging. So I might do that this morning first. Alright, a little bit janky. I haven't finished cleaning it up yet, but essentially this runs back to the switch, interferes with the input to the low voltage cutoff. So I've got the switch mounted down here in the back, flicks on and off. You can see the diesel heater turning on and off. That voltage meter next to it runs direct from the battery, so it's always on. You can see the light on the kick-ass going on and off when I turn it. Got an isolator in. That's everything downstream of that, which is essentially everything except for the low voltage meter and the solar input. So yeah, that's kind of done. I'll clean it up and move on to the next thing. Cool, well that floor's all done. A little bit tricky, but it wasn't too bad generally. I kind of stuffed this edge up here. I cut out this piece here in the curve before doing this back bit, and when you put the back bit on, it spaces this off, so I've got a gap down the corners here. Screws, when you screw through, it should pull it up a bit, and I'll do some black caulking around that so that don't see it, but generally nothing's stuck down yet, so it's all loose a bit. I'm going to do the roller blinds now and then stick it down after that so that no one walks on it for the night. A couple little gaps got to squeeze in, but pretty good. Happy with that. Looks awesome. And then the returns done as well, so really neat. Time for some blinds. Alrighty, got the floor stuck in. That's Sikaflex in. That ain't coming up ever. I hope I don't damage it, because it ain't coming up. Just go straight over the top with another layer. Just floor, floor, floor. So that's stuck in. Put this guy back on, painted black. Like I said earlier, a bit of a gap. We'll come back through, fill in with black caulking, but generally pretty good. Like, unless you're really looking at it, it's hard to tell. Caulked around the edges of it with white so you can't get dust and stuff when you're sweeping up down there, just filling it up. I haven't caulked around the kitchen side, and it's a black caulk line. If I can be bothered. It's, again, really hard to tell. Blinds are up. All tethered, all shorten the chains. Everything looks really good there. Had to standard roll that blind because it was coming over the front too far. I just remembered I hadn't done the concrete board up under here. Just for the flame retardant stuff, because it's really close to this new stove. It's getting registered tomorrow, which is a huge bonus. Can't wait to see the number plates on it, because it's been a 5-month stretch getting this going. So it's going to Vic Roads to get registered, which would be great. But I've got to get some towing mirrors put on the Prado today. I don't have to, but I'm going to put the jack pads on the bottom of the feet here. Hook it up to the car, make sure all the lights work again. Yeah, pretty much get it ready and looking tip top for the roadworthy. Well, not roadworthy, just registration. They won't go too far through it, I don't think. And right now, I just put a new lock on the door because the other one didn't have a key. So this is all working now. I took the fly screen apart. Got some tension back in the fly screen while I was here. This is a new barrel unit here. That's the existing handle, existing back end. But now, yeah, all works well. Cleaned up the doors a bit because I had overspray on them. And I'm just taking this one apart and taking these decals off. The tramp stamps, as we affectionately refer to them as. So that it looks a bit neater, and just cleaning up all the gunk on it. I think I'm going to spray the frame grey just to cover these old holes up. So that's the plan of attack today. Since it's hot, we've got the awning up, which is quite nice. So I'm just taking these off. You can see the old one here on an angle where it was. Let's keep going with that. starting work 9:30 on a Wednesday night. Look at that moon though. Super moon. It's not a bad moon. Running out of time, we've got 2 weeks left till Christmas, so I've got to get this thing ready. Some small updates since I last talked to you. We've got a new doormat that completes that little area there. I haven't caulked the gap around that bit of metal yet, but it looks pretty swish. Put the microwave back in and gave some stuff a little bit of a wipe down. I guess the biggest thing, got it registered. So this baby's legal to go on the road now. It's a little bit bouncy, but it tows pretty well. This is getting a 2-inch lift so that it levels everything out for the trip. Hopefully I can do that in time. So in 2 weeks I've got to finish that lift. We've got to do all the cushions together, boards and staple them down, and the shower. The shower ain't working at the moment, so I want to get that going. So underneath the caravan, just on the left and right in front of these wheels, there's 2 wires that have been just chopped. I'm going to put an Anderson plug on the end of them so I can just plug anything into them, so it's just hot power all the time. So one left, one right, and that's what the shower's going to run off with, like an extension lead. And then the shower itself will have a switch on it so that I can turn it on and off next to it while you're showering. And that'll run off I've got a 10 meter hose to a bucket or a jerry can of water, something like that. So I'm going to wire up those Anderson plugs tonight. That's the plan of attack for the next sort of hour before I go to bed. So good. Such a nice evening. No wind. It's not cold yet. It's great. Alright, I'm going to bring some stuff down here and do some wiring. So I thought I was done with this section of the caravan, but back here again. I've left these out. This goes down to those 2 points I was talking about. It's just cut in here again like everything else, so we'll just connect them up. A little fuse box area. I'm out of spots. What I might do is the 12 volt bed lighting, those 2 little guys, and the 12 volt kitchen lighting underneath there come off 2 separate fuses at the moment, and I might just make them one since they're not pulling many watts or anything, so there's not much power going through that stuff, so I'll make them one. That looks real jank, might fix that up. Alright, that's connected down to here and here, so that's all down this side. I'll pop a fuse in there, and then we'll go underneath and put those 2 plugs on. Cool, that wasn't too bad. They crimp on alright. So, cable done. Back to its original glory minus about half a meter of cable. And time to go underneath and put those on the 2 wires, and we're done. Alright. So that's the takeoff there in front of the tyre on the chassis rail. Nice and firm, ties in through here, back up to the fuse. So that's easy to get to, just sitting there. Shower or light or really anything can come off that. Gonna do one on the other side and we're done. You slippery sucker. Cool. 2 takeoffs done. I should probably test them. 12.3. Nice. Power. I think it's bedtime. It's getting late. Next step would be wiring the shower up with a switch and Anderson plug, so you can just plug it in either straight next to the caravan with like the lead that's on there, or drag out that 10 meter lead we made earlier. So that should be pretty straightforward. The cold water intake for that hot water system is just going to be a hose. Got a couple of fittings for it, and gas bottle works, so that should be the easy part now that that's wiring's run underneath and it's all good. Cushions are probably the most important thing left. It's pretty vacant without the cushions. We really got not a lot of time left, maybe 2 days on each of the weekends left before we leave, so yeah, gotta get it cracking. Alright. Leave him plugged in. Since I replaced this lock, This door's been like new. It's awesome. It's got like such a sturdy feel to it, so that's nice. I've got to put a little lock here again or somewhere up here because that's the only thing at the moment. Yeah, nice. Pretty pleased that little power takeoff. I think we'll pull the cord and call it a night. Almost there. A couple more things and we're done.